In this video, I am going to cover the key terms in cybersecurity. The cybersecurity industry is filled with terms. To stay fluent, one must stay abreast of these terms and their definitions. If your security partner informs you about activity within your environment, you will need to speak their language. So, what is a cybersecurity event? A cybersecurity event is a change in the normal behavior of a given system, process, environment, or workflow. In other words, when something happens, it's an event. An event can be either positive or negative. An average organization experiences thousands of events every day. These cybersecurity events can be as small as an email or as large as an update to your firewalls. Examples of cybersecurity events. An employee flags a suspicious email. Someone downloads software, whether it may be authorized or unauthorized, to a company device. A security lapse occurs due to a server outage. Now, what is an incident? An incident is a change in a system that negatively impacts the organization or business. For example, an incident might take place when a cyber attack occurs. Some examples of an incident. An employee replies to a phishing email divulging confidential information. Equipment with stored sensitive data is stolen. A password is compromised through a brute force attack on your system. Now, what is an alert? An alert is a notification of cybersecurity event or sometimes a series of events. You can work with your security provider to determine which types of events you want to monitor with alerts. Depending on your security incident and event management software, you can send alerts to any relevant parties you need to take the action. Asset. Asset can be people, property, and information. People may include employees and customers, along with other invited persons such as contractors or guests. Property assets include both tangible and intangible items that can be assigned a value. Intangible assets include reputation and proprietary information. Information may include databases, software code, critical company records, and many other intangible items. Basically, an asset is what we are trying to protect. Risk. The potential loss, damage, or destruction of an asset as a result of threat exploiting a vulnerability is called as risk. You can reduce your risk by creating and implementing a risk management plan. Risk is the intersection of assets, threats, and vulnerabilities. What is a vulnerability? Weakness or gaps in a security program that can be exploited by threats to gain unauthorized access to an asset. Testing for vulnerabilities is critical to ensuring the continued security of your systems. By identifying weak points, you can develop a strategy for quick response. Vulnerability is a weakness or gap in our protection efforts. A threat. Anything that can exploit a vulnerability intentionally or accidentally and obtain damage or destroy an asset is called as a threat. A threat is what we are trying to protect against. There are three types of threats. Natural threats such as floods, hurricanes, or tornadoes. Unintentional threats like employee mistakenly accessing the wrong information. Intentional threats such as spyware, malware, adware companies, or actions of disgruntled employees. Why is it important to understand the difference between these terms? If you don't understand the difference, you will never understand the true risk to assets. You see, when conducting risk assessment, the formula to determine risk is A plus T plus V is equal to R. That is, asset plus threat plus vulnerability is equal to risk. The next comes hack value, exploit, and attack. Hack value. Hack value is a notion used by hackers to express that something is worth doing or is interesting. This is something that hackers often feel intuitively about a problem or solution. An aspect of hack value is performing feats for the sake of showing that they can be done even if others think it is difficult. Often regarded as the reason or motivation for expending effort toward a seemingly useless goal, the point being that accomplished the goal is hacking. Exploit. Exploitation is the next step in an attacker's playbook after finding a vulnerability. Exploits are the means through which a vulnerability can be leveraged for malicious activities by hackers. These include pieces of software, sequence of commands, or even open source exploit kits. Although exploits can occur in a variety of ways, one common method is for exploits is to be launched from malicious websites. The victim might visit such a site by accident, or they might be tricked into clicking on a link to a malicious site within a phishing email or malicious advertisement. Attack. A cyber attack is an attack launched from one or more computers against another computer. Cyber attacks can be broken down into two broad types of attacks. Attacks where the goal is to disable the target computer or to knock it offline, or attacks where the goal is to get access to the target's computer data and perhaps gain admin privileges in it. Depending on the criminal intent, a cyber attack can be randomly chosen or targeted. Cyber attack methods seem to rotate in order to throw organizations off their defense. Mega ransomware attacks dominated the news in 2017 with WannaCry and NotPetya. Crypto-miners attack made headlines in 2018. In 2019, cyber attacks have been a mixed bag. Phishing email cyber attacks remain a constant thorn for most of the organizations.